but don't videotape it and don't take pictures of it and don't make it public. But then, in private, I think people should be able to urinate on Taliban corpses as much as they wish.
Okay. So Michelle wanted to know what's the Torah position on that about
urinating on dead people.
Well, how do we handle the dead?
Right.
Desecration of the dead.
Right.
If you will. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that's a really good topic. What is the Torah? Torah, the answer is that the Torah, we want to get, this camera I think is going right through me. I think you want to get,
fine.
oh yeah?
You're fine. Keep going.
That the Torah takes the position of the respect for the dead is almost above all else. Right?
Yeah.
Torah gives a lot of respect for the living, and you can throw out much of Torah to save a life.
Right.
But you can also throw out much of Torah to care for the dead. Are you aware of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's like certain things you can break second day Yom Tov to to bury a dead person. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's a lot of
Can you break second day Yom Tov to urinate on a dead person?
Can you take a dump in a bag on second day?
Yom Kippur. That was Yom Kippur.
Oh, only on Yom Kippur there's a head. Okay.
Rough bag too. Has to be the rough bag.
What am I saying? So Jimmy Mech 5, how's it going? Who are you? Do we know you? Welcome to the show. What am I saying? Yeah. Okay, that is a typical of you showing your disinterest in what I'm saying, and I won't be able to use this for a highlight clip.
You couldn't use it anyway because you didn't know what you were talking about. You said, "What am I talking about?" So it's not like you were saying anything. So
just try to pretend like you. Does not care. That's right. He does not care. So from now on, when Luke talks, I'm gonna be picking my butt and stuff.
Oh, hey, don't do that. Just T-butt.
Okay. So respect for the dead is paramount.
So the Torah is against urinating on Taliban corpses.
Yeah, I would say so. That would be against it. However, but there's a Torah perspective and then there's the reality perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. The Torah perspective is you don't piss on anybody's body, right?
Even if she invites you to, because someone.
No. You have to satisfy your wife, right? So if your wife says pee on me, then you would have to do it.
Okay.
But. I don't want to get into that, okay?
Okay, I think that's disgusting. I'm not into water sports.
Okay, well, whatever.
I've never participated in water sports, ever.
Okay.
Ever.
I don't care. Now, here's the thing on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Torah says don't urinate, respect for the body, got to bury the person as soon as possible, whatnot, right? You got to have utmost respect for a dead person. So there's no heter, there's no exemption according to Torah, for anybody to take a piss on a Taliban member, for at least a Jew.
Well, I got a header from a Major Roth.
Did you? So there's a Jew can't piss on a Taliban member's body. However,
Of course you can.
but let's say somebody pissed on a body.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my problem. Why are we making such a big noise about it? Oh, they pissed on them. Did anybody make any noise when the
When the Holocaust was going on? Did people care? Did people make any noise when Cambodia was having genocide?
How about recently in the Iraq War, when they took the workers from the Blackwater Americans, and they strung them up on the bridge? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Where was the outrage then?
Yeah, where was the outrage then, folks?
Where's the righteous indignation, when they cut off Daniel, what's his name's head off?
Right.
When any of these liberals make a noise then? These people are anti-American.
And it took 30 minutes to chop his head off because the guy wasn't used to doing it. It was the first time he'd taken anyone's head off. God. So it's 70 people when first time they cut a head off, they're just not very good at it.
Mm-hmm. You got to practice, folks.
You got to practice, folks. Don't videotape the first time you take a head off if you've never done it before. It's you can get the blade can get stuck in the bones and it just doesn't look very impressive. So.
Right. They took a soldier. I took a soldier, an American soldier, and they dragged him through the streets of Mogadishu.
Mm-hmm.
Where was the outrage?
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, then there's no outrage because black people were doing it. And if you were to be outraged at that, you'd be a racist.
I see. So apparently, the only time there's ever outrage
when white people are doing something,
when U.S. soldiers do it to, right,
third worlders,
right. So they're tremendous critics and of American soldiers, but when it comes to the enemy and the way they mistreat Americans, no problem. So whose side are they on? This is like classic Jane Fonda, right? Well, why don't you just wear the enemy's uniform at that point? When you're calling out, when your propaganda is look at all the faults of the Americans and never point out the fault of the enemy, when the enemies are so clear and blatant, you become a spokesperson for the enemy. So why don't you just wear the enemy's uniform at that point? So that's my problem. What does the Torah say about personal bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Lakewood Rav suggests I go into bankruptcy.
Okay, I happen to know a lot about bankruptcy.
I have $45,000 in credit card debt.
Okay, that bankruptcy is not necessarily the way to go. Unless, here's what I know, okay? Mm-hmm. The first question your bankruptcy lawyer is going to ask you is, what are you trying to protect?
Well, nothing. I got nothing.
Then there's no reason for you to declare bankruptcy. Because bankruptcy is to protect property that you have.
Oh, yeah, I got nothing.
Then there's no reason to declare bankruptcy. What you just do, right, is you don't pay your credit cards, right? And then they're going to come after you with a series of things, and they're probably going to file a lawsuit at you.
Right.
But if you don't got any money to pay, they're just going to be collecting nothing.
Right.
You're going to have like a bottle. It's a whole process, collectors and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the final analysis, they're not going to collect anything.
Yeah.
Right? If you get a bankruptcy, you're still you're not going to erase those debts. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're not going to gain anything. You're not going to gain anything. I went through this whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're not going to gain anything by declaring bankruptcy. Is only if you have property that you're trying to hold on to.
CBS wants Tim Tebow on their broadcast on Sunday for the AFC Championship game.
They're bringing him in.
They're making overtures to him to bring him in.
Yeah, of course, because his TBQ is through the roof, right? His TBQ is. They brought somebody into the booth last week. I was like, how the hell is this guy in the booth? It was that guy Sue.
And Dominican Sue, yeah.
The guy stepped on a guy's head this year, right? Right? Like, this is like the most hated guy in America. He stepped on a guy's head, right? And he was in there. Because if you do something and it gets enough...
Yeah.
It gets enough...
Like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. You can make yourself...
Did you ever watch her video?
No, I couldn't care less who she is.
You never watched the video of her with the black rapper.
Right.
Blowing the black
Jimmy
dick.
Mac5 is 100% right. Delinquent debt is only reported for 7 years and then it's expunged from your credit rating. And they can't sue after 4 years. That's correct. After 4 years, that's it. You're done. Torah absolutely believes in... you can do bankruptcy in Torah, according to Torah.
Really?
Yeah. But here's the thing. The way it works in Torah...
Mm-hmm.
What is bankruptcy in Torah, by the way?
Do you know?
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, where you make yourself an indentured servant?
Right. Whoa. And then you go free.
Mm-hmm.
You go chofshi, you go free, right?
Mm-hmm.
When do you go free?
After 7 years?
Bingo. So it's the same idea. 7 years,
right.
and the whole thing is free.
Right. Yeah, I bet the U.S. modeled its bankruptcy law after the Torah.
Right. Except we don't go into indentured servitude here.
Right, but...
Right. You don't have to... We don't believe in that. Right? We get welfare, we don't work for it.
How come you're always sucking on...
Well, I'm going to actually do that in a second.
Why?
There's two reasons. So the one I'm going to be doing tonight is totally different than the one I normally do. The one I normally do, when I became a big sensation on stage and I was doing stand-up comedy all the time, performing for long periods of time on stage, I got into the habit of making sure I had a voice and I didn't have to clear my throat when I was on stage, because that sounds horrible when you clear your throat on stage, right? Yeah. So I wanted to make sure I had a voice all the time. Right. And you're talking all the time, you lose your voice, you're raspy, whatever. And I just learned to always suck a lot of hard candies or these kind of things, lozenges, before I went up on stage. It's just a habit I have. So when I talk, I want to always have